Hello everyone and welcome to Golden Nova's First Reacts, where I react first to all the things you want to see reacted to first, as long as I'm the first person you go to react to things first. Oh, how I was a fool. I thought next time I was going to see you, we'd be talking about the next dual terminal lore archetype coming out in Terminal World, but it seems that another series of cards have inched their way into the reveal season, so we're going to talk about the quarter-century Trinity box. I remember this being announced a while ago, and I forget what else is involved in here, but it's another one of those special edition boxes that introduces a little bit of new support. We saw something similar with Witchcrafters and I think Sky Strikers, and another theme that got kind of fed into the Magnificent Mavens set that we got here in the TCG. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this manifests over here, but for now, we're getting to see what cards are included. World Legacy is here today with some updates to Orcust. We can see Galatea is here. Interesting pick considering that Galatea's soul was itself, well, not entirely, but largely crushed in the process of Ib reincarnating, and then once the world got reborn, Galatea was Girsu's little guide throughout the new world they had all created. Hopefully this new set of cards, only two, so I'll only probably be able to inflate this video to about 8 minutes or so we'll be able to figure this out pretty quickly. But we'll see if these cards inform what happened post-storyline, or if we get a little something in between. Let's get started with Galatea I, the Orcust automaton. Link one for oh no. Link 1, Dark Machine, requiring an Orcust or a World Legacy monster. You can only link summon Galatea I, the Orcust automaton, once per turn. Okay. Oh, real quick, let's get that. There we go. Cannot be used as Xyz material. Man, they nipped that in the bud. Though I'm going to be honest, unless this thing says it can't be used as link material, which it doesn't seem like it does, I don't think it much matters that it can't be used as Xyz material for Enlilgirsu. You can only use the first and second effect of this card once per turn. You can send one card from your hand to the graveyard to add a World Legacy monster or an Orchestrated Babble from your deck or graveyard to your hand. I don't know why we would send Orchestrated Babble from our graveyard to our hand. The card already sends a card to set it onto your field. No. It adds it back to your... Wait, I thought it set it to the field when you did that. During your main phase, if this card's in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can send a card from your hand to the graveyard to add... I guess it does. Though this is on a turn that it wasn't... Except for a turn that was sent to the graveyard. I guess our Link monster can do it when it's sent to the graveyard. So, like, we can foolish it with something and then put it back into our hand with this, as opposed to having to wait a turn with Orchestrated Babble. Or we get a World Legacy monster. That's pretty neat. And then, of course, it sends a card from hand to graveyard, so I wonder what'll benefit from that. If this card is in the graveyard, you can banish one other Orcust card to special summon this card. So as opposed to them banishing for some other effect, you can instead feed them to Galatea I, summon it out, and then get something. Okay, so it's not... It doesn't immediately get you a second material, which is the thing that I was worried it might allow you to do. It doesn't immediately get you the link to Galatea by itself, but... Well... Unless you use it with Harp Horror, because you normal Harp Horror, link into this, banish the Harp Horror, summon another Orcust from your deck, and you have a link. You have Link 2 access. So, depending on which Orcust, you have access to the Link 2 anyway. Okay, next up we have the link for Mekk-Knight Orcust Enlilgirsu. Enlilgirsu. I guess it's Enlight-Girsu or something. Enlightened Girsu? I'm not entirely sure. Boy, he looks way happier in this one. Good for him. Good for him. I love those moons in the background. That looks sick. Okay, what does the card actually do, though? That's a pretty important part. Link 4 Dark Monster, 2+ monsters, including an Orcust Link monster. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. You can target one of your banished Orcust or World Legacy cards. Add it to your hand, then shuffle one card from your hand into the deck. Then you can take control of a face-up monster your opponent controls. During your main phase, if this card was sent from the extra monster zone to the graveyard this turn, you can banish this card to send a card from the field to the graveyard. Oh, that's interesting. So it kind of harkens back to Mekk-Knight Avramax, which was also a Link 4. If you think about it, this might just be the answer to that one. If that's into the graveyard, it immediately shuffles a card back into its owner's deck. This one isn't quite so reactive. It has to be during the main phase, and if it was sent from the extra monster zone to the graveyard this turn. But it is an ignition effect, so you don't necessarily have to use it once it's sent to the graveyard. Interesting. But you want to summon this and then send it from the EMZ to the graveyard to make the effect live. At which point you can, I think, summon it back with World Wand. World Wand might require you to summon it in defense position, in which case this isn't going to work here. Honestly, it's this first effect, because, one second, Orcust Babble, I gotta reread the text on this one. You can activate the effect of Orcust monsters in your graveyard, or of Link monsters you control with Orcust in their original name, which it does. As quick effects. Okay, so as a quick effect, you can target one of your banished Orcust or World Legacy cards, add it to your hand, shuffle a card from your hand into the deck, so it's not a +1, and then you just permanently take control of a face-up monster your opponent controls at quick effect speed. It doesn't target, so that's funny. Oh, I guess, wait a sec, does it care if it's in the, Link monsters will be on the field? Link monsters you control. Okay, so it's Link monsters that you control. So this graveyard effect here, where it sends, we cannot use that as a quick effect. And that also applies to this one, though it doesn't. It does not apply to this one as well, but it does apply to this, where we can send cards to add monsters. Not that that's super useful during the opponent's turn, but we have the option. Is there anything in this picture that might give us some lore info? The birds... Man, I feel like I should know what these birds are. And then we have Enlilgirsu. This has to be post World Legacy storyline. I cannot imagine either of these characters looking so serene during the events of the story. That can't possibly be it. Is there like something hanging off of Girsu's right arm here with the spear? Or is that just like a really fluffy cravat coming off that? I can't quite tell. Either way, there's not a lot of details going on in either of these that at least I can pick up on. Neither of these are randomly a Cybers type. They're still Dark Machines, so it's not like either of them are tied in with any of the World Legacy powers at all. Yeah. These are cool cards. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think that there's any real lore implications here, aside from, hey, where are they now? 10 years later kind of deal. We do know that Galatea's spirit did, like, survive in a form to kind of, you know, as kind of a reward for her selflessness in trying to save Ib. So maybe you rebuilt a body for Galatea instead of it just trying to be a facsimile of Ib. Girsu just went ahead and made a body for her. There's a lot more, like, translucent parts in the body. I wonder what's going on with that. I think that might be part of the reconstruction process. I don't know. It's very cute, though. They're kind of having some fun times at the beach. That's pretty nifty. I like that. They're very cute. Not a lot of lore implications, but the cards themselves, I'm a big fan of. Link 1's historically very powerful types of cards. You can immediately shunt any of your Orcust monsters into the graveyard, so you can activate their effects without having to have a specialized Link monster to do it for you, or having some other kind of effect. I don't know what World Legacy monsters combo with this. I'm racking my brain, but it does mean, like, you could run things like Crown, and then you summon it to a Link point for free, and then turn that into a Galatea. That could work, because they're also Dark Machines, and Orcusts are nothing if not Link-generating machines. Type pun included, I guess. So maybe that helps here, but I can't think of any other World Legacy that would actually matter here, aside from, of course, World Wand, but that's used in a different aspect. We want to send that to the graveyard with Orcust Nightmare, not actually field it. And, of course, the Quick Effect Steal is outrageous, and we've actually been needing a good Link 4 monster in Orcust for a long time. Orcustrine exists, but that card is, like, situationally good at best. This card, stealing a monster and recycling your cards, especially from the Banished Zone where a lot of our Orcust cards end up, mwah, chef's kiss. This is incredible top end for Orcust right now. In a time period where Orcusts have never had it so good. Harpour is coming off the list. God, I don't think it's been relevant since they actually came back, but I remember getting curb stomped by a Orcust Bestial runic list. That's was some of the wildest stuff I'd ever seen in my life. So, yeah, things are looking up for Orcust here. I don't expect that these will, of course, make them top tier, but I could see these being added into some kind of engine, being part of a deck, some kind of half Orcust nonsense, especially because none of these, as far as I can tell, induce any kind of lock, so you're just dealing with the Orcust. You can only special summon dark monsters, which once again is the least effective lock in the entire game. It's like being told, you know what, you can activate this card that summons 4 monsters, but you can only play the best monsters in the game from this point onward. That's right, no normal monsters, except token ones. You can have token ones. You just can't have physical, normal monsters. It's not allowed. Alright, well these are some pretty cool ones. Orcust heads in the audience, let me know how this changes up the strategy. What are some new things that you've unlocked with the addition of these new Link monsters? Are there any lore tidbits that I missed out on here? Are there any little sigils or gestures that I'm missing out on? Any stat line significances that have just gone over my head? Let me know down below. And until the next time, Konami drops some juicy information, I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye. Today's episode is brought to you by Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales and get 5% off your order by using the coupon code GoldenNova at checkout. It was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commanders, Upstairs Media, and Natiel Lee Alexander, Nebula Navigator's 3rd Dynasty, 50 Gigabytes, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zajdel, Owexotoa Hime, Anansi Dragon, Ancient Wizard, Andrew Newman, Battle Axe, Kane Senpai, Chibi Gohan, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Comrade Copperbottom, Eric, Frankie, Garland Chaos, Great Big Pillock, Hair Bear, Happy Majin, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Iron Zero, Iskander 711, Carp, Mana Charge, Marion James E. Picata, Megacombi is entering the Chrysalis, Millennia Asta, Muse Clark, Orozco 09096, Panther J, Pat Poos, Rank 10 Trains, Rebel King Lucifer, Red Eyes Jackalow, RJ the Jank Monarch, The Critic of Innocence, Thievery Coast and the Wizard Moose, Cosmic Crusaders Animasta, Baron Von Titty Sprinkles, Buelcifer, Fish, Beluga Masta, Blitzwolf, Caesar M, Chaz Ghost, Dr. Reaper, R.I.P., Eva Padilla, Hike Boyagian, Herbal D, Ignis Heat, the true Draco Slayer, Kale the Dragon, Kevon Public, Lobomaru 02, Manga Pages, Matt Simmons, Mick Spoofy, Mike, Nitromo, Not Al Gore, Nyx, Obsidian, Pokemon, Rainer Leong, Rhyme Kairos, Shizuka Nijimura, Sophie, apparently, Stephen Williamson, The Legendary Raven, The Phantom Knights of Shitted Pants, The Gene, Tiger X2476, Weasel King of Weaseltown, and Zaldreka, as well as the wonderful Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, be a part of these credits and other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you would check out the link to my Patreon in the description or consider joining as a YouTube member.